Welcome to the show, Scout.
Thank you so much, Lauren.
Do you want to introduce yourself and also tell me about your relevant projects and the role that you play in them?
Yes, my name is Scout Smithson. I am a musician in Bellingham, Washington, originally from Seattle, Washington.
Represent.
And 206. And I am currently in a band with Lauren called Scout and the Fox's Wedding. And I also used to be in a band called Iggy Poop. And I currently am doing booking and events marketing management shit at Makeshift.
Hell yeah. And you're a visual artist too.
And I'm a visual artist. Sometimes I collage and I paint.
Yeah. Do you want to tell me about your roles in Scout and the Fox's Wedding and Iggy Poop?
I would love to. I am the singer, composer, songwriter, masterminds behind Scout and the Fox's Wedding, and it's 5 of us. Lauren plays keys sometimes and sings all times. Anna sings and plays tambourine sometimes. And then we have Arlo, who's on cajon, and then Billy, who's on banjo.
Yeah.
It's a very folky system. But yes, I am the mastermind behind that band.
And if you also want to touch on where that project kind of originated and its link to Iggy Poop too, whose songs we're playing and how those have changed.
Oh, okay. Yes. Ooh, good question. Yeah, Iggy Poop used to be my first real band up here, and we were together for like 2 years, and we were very screamy and punky and very Riot Girl-y. And it was really, really fun, and it was definitely like a party house show band. And then I got kind of sleepy and tired. And then I started producing shows, and then I started missing playing music. And then I had all of these original songs that I wanted to make something with. But a lot of those original songs were from Iggy Poop, and they're very punky and hard and screamy. And now they have a whole new life of being like very singy and acoustic and lovely. So is that the answer to your question?
I just think it's cool. I think it's cool that like you have taken these songs that you've written and like put them into two very different genres, so to speak. Do you want to talk about Garden Palace at all? I don't really have any questions specifically related to your production of shows, but I think that is a really integral part of your role in the last couple of years in the music scene here. And so if you like wanted to touch on that at all, I would love that.
Yes. Garden Palace was my house show project for about a year, where I had all acoustic, sometimes plugged in concerts in my tiny apartment. And I prioritized specifically musicians of color, femme presenting, queer, trans musicians, because when I was in Iggy Poop, I was a front woman for an all-male band, and it was really empowering to be in that position. But also, there would be many times where I'd be on stage and I'd be the only woman performing on like a 5 bill. Only girl on the bill. And then also being like a cisgendered white woman on the bill too was just like really yucky. And I was like, oh, if this sucks for me, I can't imagine how many other people this sucks 10 times harder for. And so that was the creation of that space, was just to have at least, if not a solid venue, a starting ground for a lot of musicians who were having a really hard time integrating themselves into the scene.
Yeah, let's go Scout.
I'm really proud of that.
Really awesome. I love Garden Palace. Garden Palace forever.
Forever. May she's not dead, but
no,
she's
sleeping. Shall we turn to writing?
Yes.
Okay. Have you always considered yourself to be a writer?
Yes.
That's been a lifelong thing for you?
I think so.
When do you remember getting into songwriting? Are you a person who has I wrote my first song, or
this is like so corny, but it's true. Apparently when I was like starting at 3, my mom knew I was awake because she could hear me singing to myself And that's when she knew to come get me, was
That
she
is
would just
so
hear me
cute.
singing to
Dude,
myself.
that's like really, really precious.
It's super cute, and I think that's like a very cute thing about
I love
myself. Yeah, I think that I've always liked being a little songbird.
Yeah.
And just kind of coming up with things. One of my first memories of writing a song was writing a song with my stepdad where he's playing guitar, and then I was just kind of singing on top of it like the blues.
Cute.
And then another thing I would do in elementary school is if there was like a really big pop song, like the one at the time I can remember is You Belong With Me by Taylor Swift.
Of course.
And I would write like lyrics on top of it
That's
and be
awesome.
like, I wrote this song.
Oh
and like fully,
yeah, and you did.
I did, me.
Right.
So yeah, those were like my earliest memories. And then I did Rain City Rock Camp, which is like a music camp for for young girls, but like I think it's like 8 to 15-year-old and gender nonconforming kids, and you learn an instrument, form a band, write a song, and perform it in a week. And so that was like really, I think, what got my passion started, was like being in a space of mostly women and trans women and lesbians and just like some like really radical feminists that were just kind of laying the pathway of being like, you actually can kind of write a song about whatever you want, and it doesn't have to like be metaphorical or good, or like you can just like write a song. And then that was kind of the foreground from that, of being like then learning to play guitar and then ukulele, like just kind of expanding on it.
So cool. That's
Thank you,
awesome.
Laura.
Yes. Well, I'm curious if you have, if you find yourself having a typical process for your songs now, if it's something that like you start with the words and then a guitar part comes to you, like how, if you have a way that you do it most times, or if it's pretty different per song for you.
It's gotten different over the years, but my tried and true is usually finding a chord progression that I like, and then just finding a melody and then singing random words on top of it until it forms a cohesive lyric.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times I will say I do not know what I'm writing about until I write, like till it starts coming out. It's like very like literally therapy, where you're just like, I don't know what these feelings I'm sitting with are until you just kind of hash it out with yourself. But then recently I've been kind of collecting phrases or things I hear or lyrics that I like, and then just like writing them down and then kind of coming back to that for inspiration. And sometimes the lyrics I think of don't even make it into a song, but then it might inspire it.
Yeah.
Or lyrics from other songs that I really like, where I'm like, oh, like I could write a song about this or whatever. But I hate to say it, like, damn it, if writing love songs is not just like the easiest fucking shit ever.
That's I struggle with that so much. I don't know if I've ever written like a true good love song. I also think I like only write about stuff when I feel sad about it, and that's like something I'm trying to write about other things that are not things that I feel sad about, that I feel more neutral about, you know?
Every time I do a sad song, I'm like, okay, so this is just making me more sad.
Okay, bitch.
Actually, like,
Stand up.
Or just like literally just like stand up. Like, what's wrong with you?
That's
like,
so funny.
cry about it. What's wrong with, like, it's just so, I just
That's
get so
awesome.
annoyed. I don't get annoyed at myself when I'm sad, but when I write sad songs, I'm like, oh, boo.
Oh my god, that's so funny. I literally love that.
Boo.
Okay. So, speaking of love songs, where do you find yourself catching inspiration?
Ooh, this sounds kind of skanky, but like people's bodies.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
like if somebody like in Time and Place, the lyrics are, I still taste you from this morning, time and place. And then I'm counting all the markings while you're sleeping on your resting face.
You do write very descriptively about other
Yeah.
yeah, totally.
So that's what it is for me, is like that was something when I was looking at that person, where I was literally catching myself being like, how many freckles and moles do they have on their face? And I would do it while they were asleep. And I was like, oh, that's so romantic of me. Like, that's literally
so
like,
cute.
that's like
Like,
literally
I'm just,
so
like,
sweet and
adorable,
thoughtful of me.
actually.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But also too, like, the way that people smell, or like I was just thinking of this today. Like, I caught a whiff of something that smelled like somebody that I knew, and I was like, oh, that's like so like that's so kind of sexy
Totally.
and romantic to be like walking down the street minding your business and then smelling something that reminds you of somebody.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like what it is. And then also I've written a lot of songs about like in the love sphere about the conflict that emerges from love and things like that. And I think that love is very complicated. I know that's a crazy thing to say. Nobody said that
Just
before. Just new drop. Love is crazy. But yeah, those are how
That's where you catch.
I think that's where I catch it. It's just like looking at like a feature of somebody and being like, ooh, that is like so interesting. And also sometimes like, that's so weird that I'm attracted to this part about you.
Is there a time of day that you find yourself writing?
Nighttime, always.
Always.
Nighttime, always.
Say more. Late at night? Like 2
Late at
a.m.,
night.
like 11?
10 p.m. is when I will begin.
Okay.
And I don't know, I think it's also because, as you've been in my room,
I have.
mood lighting galore.
You guys, Scout's room is like ultimate cozy.
Very, like, hippie den.
Yeah.
But not, like, Shein hippie.
Oh my god, no. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'm in there and I just have my little twinkle lights and my little mood lighting and, like, a little candle going. I'm like, oh, I have to write a song right now.
I must. I'm having a feeling.
Also, too, I read this quote a really long time ago. It's from this poem called Desiderata, and there's a line in it that always sticks with me, and it's, most fears are born out of loneliness and fatigue, and I always translate as, like, most strong feelings are from you being tired and being alone.
Wow.
And I really love that, and I always find that I, like, suddenly get really, this is not original, but, like, get really emotional or feel, like, really strongly about something when I'm alone and when it's dark and when I'm tired.
Yeah.
And then all of those three, suddenly I'm like
I got something to say.
I got something to say right the fuck now. And also part of my songwriting process, which is super annoying, is I will not stop until I finish the song. I can't come back to it. I have to finish it.
Tell me more about that. That is really interesting.
It makes me insane.
What?
It's so insane.
You will, if you, okay.
Or I will try and I will lose all mojo from it.
Like when you, okay, so, yeah, thinking about your favorite songs that you've written, they've come about all in one.
Yes, every single one. Sometimes in, like, 30 minutes and sometimes in, like, 4 hours.
Yeah,
where
like it's a session.
But I will not. I have so many songs that I've started on my phone and they've sat there for months and I've never gotten back to them because the inspiration for them is immediately gone. But it does drive me fucking crazy because then I know that if I come back to something, I can rework it and I can perfect it.
Yeah.
But I'm also so impatient.
Totally.
That I'm like, this is as good as it's gonna get.
Yeah.
There's actually nothing that I can complete with this.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is my blessing and curse. Is
Wow.
that every song I write is in one session.
That's so interesting. How do you know then when a song is finished? And is a song ever finished?
Okay, philosophy. I don't
why I asked
don't
the
think that a
questions.
song is ever finished.
Okay.
I think that you doing this project with you especially, like, and having so many other instruments in there, all of these songs I would perform by myself with just me and my guitar, and then adding a bunch of musicians to it, and you're like, oh my god, this song sounds totally different than what I imagined, and it's so much better. So I don't think that a song is ever truly finished. I mean, unless it's recorded or whatever, but then even you play it live and you add little things here and there.
I feel like a little bit when a song is recorded, then it becomes unfinished again because you've solidified this one version of it, and you get to decide if you want the live versions that follow to sound more like the recorded version,
yes,
or if you want them to be different than the recorded version because that version is already preserved,
yes,
you know? So yeah, I feel like, yeah, even more so for me after I've recorded something, I'm like, well, now it's definitely not done. What's your relationship with writing like? Do you find it to be fun? Do you find it to be like, I have to do it? Do you find like
it starts as being irritating because I can't figure out what I want to do, and then I find usually I find a chorus first, which is very frustrating because choruses are so easy to write in comparison to verses, for me at least.
Completely disagree, for the record.
Oh, okay. I can like
no, but
like a good
tell me more
chorus.
about that.
Like I think too because
You write a killer chorus, I will say.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I will. I do feel very proud of that. It is just like that. Like the chorus to me is like, let's have our like pop girl fantasy moment.
That's
like
awesome.
let's like come up with something that's such a horrible earworm.
Like a freaking hook.
Like a
dude.
hook.
Yeah.
I love that. And then verses, I feel like verses have to be a little bit more interesting, and then the choruses have to be kind of the foundation that carries it through. And so when I find the foundation, I'm like, perfect. And then I try to find the verses, and that gets hard. So it's this combination of me like really meditating on it because it's really nice to create lyrics and like sort through emotions that maybe you're not fully understanding. And then sometimes you write lyrics where you're like, say something like really dark or say something like really profound, and you're like, I did not know. Like I did not know. I did not know that I was feeling that way. Like that's crazy. Time to call Mimi, my therapist. Yes. Love her forever. But yeah. Anyways, the process is equally therapeutic as it is frustrating, as it is. It's the most rewarding thing ever to be like, oh, I like literally just wrote another song. It's so nice.
Yeah.
Resume.
Okay. I asked you to bring a song today to deconstruct your writing process of it. What song are you going to play today?
I'm going to play Single Women
and
try
then
not to cry. Because I always fucking cry during this song.
It's so good. And then what do you remember you want to tell? I mean, I know the story. Why don't you tell the people the story of this awesome song?
Me and one of my very bestie baes, Hadley H.B. Hudson, I had just gone through a pretty tumultuous breakup, and I was trying to find some independence in being single. And me and her were both single women at the time, and we went to the beach together, and we're just being very cute and like reading each other's tarot and journaling and reading and being in our cute swimsuits and just being hot girls. And then this woman our age came alone, and she had her whole little like picnic for herself and her beach towel, and she went into the water by herself and just like enjoyed being by herself. And then as she was doing that, this woman probably in her 70s came and did the exact same thing, and then went in the water. The younger woman came back in, and the older woman came back out, and they just kind of kismetly sat next to each other, and I just was kind of eavesdropping on their conversation, and it was just this very sweet moment of me being single and my friend being single, and then these two, I don't know if they were single, but in that moment of time they were physically single, and then this just cross-generational friendship emerged. And I don't know if they're still friends, but it was just this really lovely moment of just seeing cross-generational friendship and just this like little snapshot moment. And I went home and I like wrote the song in like less than an hour. I was just so deeply inspired, and a lot of the lyrics are actually eavesdrop moments that I heard from them. Some of them I made up for dramatic effect, but a lot of it is actually them just like kind of talking shit.
That's part of what I'm curious about, if you remember one of the lines that was an eavesdrop one versus one of the ones you filled in, if like you remember the specificity of how any of those came to be for you.
Not like all of these are verbatim, but the younger woman was talking like about how she just like wanted to fast forward through life and get older, and the older one was like, no you don't, like enjoy yourself, like stop it.
I love that part of the song. You'll hear that.
So there's a lyric on that. And then my grandma and lots of old people I know have said this, and she kind of alluded to the same thing, but there's a line where I say, my friends are sick and some are gonna die. Oh my god, I can't fucking stop crying about this song. Which is not in itself, I mean, it's super sad, but there's a lot of power in that, and just like her just being very casual of like, well, you have all your friends and half of mine are dead or sick or dying. And it was just this very like casual and like really dark and twisted way that I really love when women communicate with each other like that, because it's just like,
You gain a lot
You
of
fucking
perspective
know.
from that.
You gain so much perspective, and I think that women in general feel so much more safe with each other, and older women to younger women are so much more maternal.
Yeah.
I think just intuitively. I'm even like to one of my very best friends who's literally 2 years younger than me. I'm like maternal over them, and I'm like, hey, Pookie Bear. But yeah, some of the lyrics that I think I made up were like just kind of rhyme scheme ones, like the older woman said to the younger girl, "Oh, your drink looks cold. Like that looks delicious." But then I added, "Your drink looks cold, but all I want is some wine." Like things like that, where it's just like adding to the story.
Yeah.
But I would say probably like 25, maybe 50% of it is like actually lines that they were saying that I was eavesdropping.
Your songwriting is, I feel like, does really tell a story, and I feel like that's part of what we found with translating the Iggy Poop stuff into this like folkier project, is that like the storyline is already there, and so it translates really well into this other traditionally storytelling genre. And I feel like this song, it was one of the first you wrote kind of with this other project in mind, right?
Yeah, this was the first one where I was like, did I play it at that Wink Wink show? I can't remember. I don't think I did. No way I did, because I was too scared to do anything in open C at the time.
Yeah,
it was the first song I ever wrote in open C too.
Love you, open C.
Forever and always. But yeah, I think that I wrote that, and I remember that one being like, immediately had ideas. I feel like that's the only song that I came with you guys to being like, can you do this? Like, I want it to sound like this. And then Time and Place as well.
I feel like Single Woman, was the first one you were like, I have ideas for this. And then after that, it was like, okay, now I kind of know what everybody's voices sound like. We can figure some stuff out. Yep.
That's me.
Whenever.
Okay, whenever.
Single Women by me. One goes in and the other comes out. One
gosh, I'll be crying now. Single women going for a swim. That's that. It's just so sweet. It's just so sweet.
That's awesome.
And that's,
Great job.
thank
Kayla.
you.